another video. So before we did the most underrated sedans of all time, now we're doing the most underrated cars of all time. Starting with the Elements Pilots Elites Twin, the Ridgeline. And I don't, R-I-D-G-E-L-I-N-E. And I don't mean the, there we go, the Ridgeline. And I don't mean like the modern day Ridgeline, like the successful truck. I mean when the Ridgeline was insecure. 2006, first year of the Ridgeline. Honda wanted to try a truck. They saw Toyota's success. They wanted to build something reliable. This is what they came up with. It was an insecure truck. I mean that because the side of it was kind of weird. It had this weird shape to it since it was converted from an SUV to a truck rather than the other way around where the SUV is converted from the truck, not the truck from the SUV. It was pretty tall off the ground, had Honda wheels, borrowed a lot from the Honda Elements since that was the only car Honda had at the time that was anywhere near rugged. It had a swing open tailgate. You could either swing it open or drop it down, which was very smart for Honda, and had a opener and the bottom. A lot of people hated the Ridgeline. I really liked it, actually. I would buy it today if there was no other option. If there was no other option from Toyota, right? If it was either this or an F-150, I'd pick this. So it's got a nice leather interior, you know, a nice grab handles, nice sturdy ones. And you may say, why do I think it's insecure? It was trying to prove itself as a truck. That's why there's big chrome things. That's why there's a big shelf here. Now it's less insecure because they've proved themselves as a reputable car company for trucks. Back then they didn't, so they tried to throw everything at it, and I'm here to tell it, you tried so hard to be a good truck, and at the end you were. You were a success. So I am adding you to this list to say that you are a good truck that is useful today, and that we appreciate you, Honda Ridgeline. You don't have to be insecure anymore, because you're not as big as the F-150, or not as reliable as the Yoda. Okay, we're here to validate you and say that you are a good car, right? Another car from Honda, the Accord. And they may say, in what way is the Accord underrated? This generation, Toyota had just pulled the rug under Honda. And even though the Honda Accord was doing better than Toyota, every single year that it was made up until 1999, Toyota ripped the rug under them, and that left Honda with losing the best-selling car. So in 2002, I believe, they tried to scrap up everything, rip it all together. We're going to make the best thing ever. And again, another insecure decision from Honda. It was meant to be sporty. And you want to know how I know this was an insecure decision? You may say, how could I possibly know that? They tried to copy the Camry. And you may say, that's unbelievable. Look at this. See this rear style? See this rear style? They were obviously trying out some things from the Camry that beat them to see if they could win. At the end, they didn't end up winning. And it was a lovely car. It came with Navi. That was really nice. It came with leather seats. That was really nice. This was more comparable to something Lexus-like than a car. Like, they did a very good job, especially on the higher trims. With the Navi and all that, the sunroof, I would be happy to drive this car. You would not have to hold a gun to my head. I would be very, very happy to drive this car. It's not bad at all. It drives well, it drives light, the power steering is nice. The Camry was better. People liked it more. I'm sorry. But this car is a good car, and it should be remembered as such. Right? Another car, right, that has been, I would say, very, very underrated and very, very looked over just because of how ugly it is. Well, because of its ugly past. The Subaru Tribeca. The B9 Tribeca told everyone that this car sucked. That's what it told everyone. It said, hey, this car sucks, don't buy it. That's the message it spread throughout the universe. And yet, when the second generation came around, well, the facelift, this beautiful, nice, third-row family SUV got completely dunked in market share, all because its older sibling was hideous. Nowadays, you can find them for so cheap because everyone remembers the B9 Tribeca. They don't remember the good Tribeca, the one that Subaru wanted you to see, right? And that ruined the Tribeca name. That's why when they launched the Ascent, they called it the Ascent, not the Tribeca. Because the Tribeca is a cursed name. And I'm here to tell the Tribeca, you did nothing wrong. You were a good SUV. You were fine. Just because the B9 was hideous does not mean that you are. I am validating you and saying that you are a good car. You were severely underrated. Everyone looked over you. Everyone just jumped straight to a Highlander because of how ugly it was. Now, you may say, oh, well, the B9 Tribeca couldn't have been that bad. Yes, it could. It was hideous. I mean, look at it. It looks like an airplane. I get that Subaru is trying to go back to their airplane heritage or whatever, but don't. Like, I don't, no one cares that much. You're a car company. Be a car company. I mean, really. It's hideous. The wheels are hideous. Everything about it is hideous, except for the interior. That actually was not that bad. I'm here to tell the regular Tribeca, not the B9, that it's underrated. The B9 Tribeca, if anything, the B9, is overrated because, yeah. So, we've got 3 cars already, right? And now, I have a really sad car from Scion. I know we don't talk about Scion, but we're here to talk about the Scion XB. No, XD? Was it the XD or the XB? It was the XD. Scion. Was it the XA? I'm trying to remember which one it was. I think it's this one. I'm trying to remember. It had the most... Which one was it? One second, can I have a sec? I can't remember which one's underrated or not. Was it the... I'm going to know it when I see it, because I know there's another one that looks like it. This is the XA. IM? No, that was the Corolla. FRS, IM, IQ, IQ EV. XA. Okay, so this is it. This is the underrated car. Sorry, I forgot. I hate Science lineup. So confusing, right? This car was never bought. In fact, it was canceled almost as soon as it came out. Like, they did not buy this car, right? The fun thing is, Scion-based 4-door, oh, of course, Cars.com, of course, except any old application, okay? These cars were fun. They were a better version of the Yaris. They looked more normal on the outside. They were more useful than a Yaris. They looked a little bit mopey in the back, but what car doesn't, right? You had this nice interior, you could use it. It was drivable. You had, of course, the Toyota Scion Pioneer system, the Prius gauges in the middle, right? The sad climate controls down here, the see-through opener thing that they all had, manual, of course, Scion. A good car. Rear seats. You were a good car for teenagers. You were always overlooked. It was always the Corolla. It was always something Toyota. And never you. And that saddens me, right? That really, really saddens me. Next, this is a car that none of you will remember because it's a Volvo. A Volvo. Why would a Volvo be underrated? Like why, right? Well, I want to show you something sad, right? Go ahead, do it. Do you see this car right here? Do you see this car right here? This is a Volvo V70. You may say, why would you assume I've never heard of that car before? Because there was another car that was better and faster and nicer, and everyone bought it, and no one bought this. Its own version, a separate version of this car, took over so much that I believe this car was canceled before the other one was. Right? And you may say, well, what car company would create a version of its own car so good that it would eventually discontinue the car that it's based off of? Well, I'm here to tell you that one of my favorite cars ever, the XC70. A lot of people didn't even know that the XC70 was based off of a wagon. They just assumed that it was great. You want to know why the XC70 took over, at least here in America, and why the XC70 was better than the V70? First of all, right, the V70 is a wagon. At this point in time, they had the V50 and the V90, I believe. No, I believe it was just the V50, and yeah. And then they had the V70, just to fill a gap, right? And then came the XC70. This car was off the ground more, so Americans liked it more than this more European-style wagon. They wanted something SUV-ish for their family, but still something safe. In most of the safety adverts, it wasn't a V70, it was an XC70, the off-road version. And you can tell they were trying to get the XC70 to sell more, because this is the back of the V70. The XC70 looks way more off-roady, right? And this car took over. Look at this interior. Look at how much work they put in. A slide glove box, a digital dash, all this, right? This car was slightly newer. This is a 2016, right? This 2009. You can see where they got the interior hints from, but you can definitely tell which one they put more effort into. It's still the same interior overall, but you can definitely tell, and it's blatant, which one they cared about more. The XC70 took over the V70, and for that, I'll always feel bad for the V70. It had no right to be canceled. It was a good wagon. The XC70 just had something that it didn't. The issue was both cars had the same features, except the XC70 could go off-road. That's something that this didn't have. And this thing didn't have any feature that the XC70 couldn't do, which is why it got overlooked. Which is, it's really sad. Right? I'm crying right now. As you can see, I'm in tears. Next one is a Toyota. You're telling me there's an underrated Toyota. The CHR. You're probably looking at me, you're like, are you from stupid Dupu Town? This car was ugly. This car hated it. No. Toyota is just trying to make something modern. Right? Just because they failed doesn't mean you should take it out on the car. This is a modern crossover. It looks weird in the back, but actually you have a very decent amount of storage room. It performed well in crash tests. It was a small car for teens. You had a driver-focused climate controls and media center. It was a nice car to sit in. It was a nice car to ride in. A partially digital dash with this lovely blue LED light work that would go through the entire interior, and this unique Toyota steering wheel. The shifter was nice. When you shifted, it felt sturdy. The lights felt sturdy. It was a sturdy, good car that people liked, and it was cheap, right? Just because it tended to be on the cheaper side, and I mean cheap, doesn't mean it's not good. I mean, look at this amount of storage space. You're not getting that out of a RAV4. It's just more usable. It just looks more usable, right? And that's why this will always be an SUV in my thing. The theme is sports utility vehicle. First of all, sporty. Has a sporty front end, except instead of being small and like having a hood this big, it's chunky like an SUV. And you may say, how is it utility? There is zero fake vents here. What about those? Fog lights went there, you idiot, on the nicer trim. Stop trying to override me. The back. Sporty. It looks sporty. It was all compacted with having the big sedan butt, right? Sports. Where's the utility? In the trunk space. The interior. Where's the sports? It has that nice blue thing running along it. It's modern design. The piano black makes it look classy. Where's the utility? It's cloth, durable plastic, durable everything, durable leather wrapped steering wheel. This plastic carbon fiber, I could sit in this chair and kick it bonk, 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 with all my force, and that door would not bend an inch. That's how much I trust in this car. It did not deserve to be sacrificed to the Toyota gods. They should have put the other CHR here, although I'm glad. I would have traded the Corolla Cross out for the CHR. That's all I'm saying. So with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, I'm just giving homage to vehicles forgotten, right? So I will see you soon in another one of my videos.